Good morning, good morning. We are getting ready for Coffee with Casper, live on Facebook and YouTube. And there we are. We're already happening. The system's here's the Casper. He wants to come up and say hi. He knows you're there. He's a bit of a ham. And then down here I have the mountain dog. I don't know if you can see him down here. Here we go. There's the mountain dog. There's the mountain dog. We got Coffee with Casper and Musings with Mountain. There we go. That doggy. What's this doggy boy doing? Come on over here. You can't see. The camera can't see you. You got to get in the camera. They can't see you. Look at you, handsome dog. Good morning. Good morning. Let me know where you are. Make your comments in the chat on Facebook Lives. We're glad to see you this morning. We're getting ready to go. We got 2 minutes to warm up. Got the doggies keeping me warm. Welcome, welcome. Let me know where you are. Good morning from North Carolina. We love it. Good morning from Boise. Good morning, good morning. Nice to see you this morning. Welcome, welcome to Coffee with Casper. More than a year of episodes, more than 52 episodes already out there in the world, and we hope they're bringing you and others great benefit. That's the whole idea. Good morning from Arizona. Good morning from Norway. Bless you, welcome, welcome. We're glad to have you this morning. And I know it's not morning in Norway. Here we go. Nice to see you this morning. Good morning from Salt Lake City. That's nice to see you, my friend. Good to see you. From River Ranch, Oregon. We love it. Big hugs from Norway. Well, big hugs back from Topanga. Here in northern Los Angeles County, California. All right. Well, we're glad you're here this morning. Welcome, welcome. From Las Vegas, we're certainly glad you're here this morning. Good to see you this morning. Well, as the folks are checking in, here it is 8:30. It's time to gong in. So let us get ready to roll. Here we go. So let's just welcome everybody from around the world. Just welcome them into this gathering of light workers as we look to see what might heal, uplift, inspire, and bring forth more life in each of our own lives and in the life of all of humanity. And for this great gift, we give thanks, and we allow it to be. And here we go. Take a big, deep breath in. Allow that breath to rise up into your heart center. Relaxing, dropping the shoulders, and giving your whole body permission to relax and to be present for just these next 20 minutes. And of course, we're just looking for any thought or idea that allows us to experience a greater degree of comfort. In Norway, she says she's preparing dinner. Welcome from Sri Lanka. Wonderful. Good to see you this morning. All right. Nice to see you. We've got people from all over the world here this morning. We've seen coffee. We've got Casper, and we've got all of us together. So here's what I wanted to talk about today. We're kind of in the battle of the ego, which is, I'm right and you're wrong. My truth is greater than your truth. My depth is greater than your depth. My height is greater than your height. It's all of that me and I stuff. And of course, what we know, and we've talked about everywhere, we get to be a guest with Reverend David Fears this week at the Inspirational Center for Orange County, Inspirational Living Center for Orange County. That's also up on Facebook. It's on my page and available wherever you want to find it. But what we know, and we've been talking about here on Coffee with Casper, is that what is rising is a sense of unity consciousness, the understanding that there's only one thing happening here, one life force everywhere present. Its center is everywhere, its circumference is nowhere. And we know that's a little weird, but that's the nature of the infinite. That's the nature of the great mystery of life. I am one of those people, and you might be one also, and you might know others, that loves to be by the water. Any kind of water, streams and rivers and lakes, and of course our grand oceans here we're in the Pacific Ocean over here, in the big, beautiful Pacific Ocean. I just love to be by bodies of water. And here where I live, in Topanga, we have a big valley here. You can see behind me, that big valley back behind me. It's overlooking a vast emptiness, just like the ocean is this vast depth, that something we can't see. There's a mystery in it, right? And that's symbolic of our sitting by the subconscious mind, or another way of saying it, sitting by the infinite mind of God, and all of the dimensions, and all of the levels, and all of the planets, and all of the galaxies, the infinite mind of God. And there's no way we, as finite beings, can grasp the infinite. What we can do is commingle with the infinite. And in that commingling, draw down the lines of separation between the I am that I am and the I am that you are. And the I am presence is what's wakening up in the world. This I am an immortal spiritual being, superior to my mind, to my body, and to my experience. Not denying mind, body, or experience, but knowing that what I am is greater than that. If I am an immortal spiritual being, my temporal incarnation, this is just my point of view, should not be the main focus. Of course, we should be in the here and now and enjoy this beautiful body and enjoy this beautiful experience and enjoy the nature that's all around us and enjoy the life to interact with all of the critters on the planets and all of the beauty and the minerals and the trees and everything we're one with all of it. And it should be enjoyed in the context of I am this and so much more. So what I see happening in the world is a lot of separation. My nation, my country, my way of being, my color, my point of view is somehow being better. And there's a poem, as you all know, I'm a big fan of the philosopher Ernest Holmes from the last century, who spoke of this unity of all life and this oneness of being and our direct connection to it. And I love those ideas. As you know, that's where I live, move, and have my being, is in those ideas. So Ernest Holmes, this wonderful philosopher, wrote a beautiful poem, one that many of us have heard, and maybe you as a light worker have not heard it. But I want to talk about it today in terms of a particular line. But let me share the poem with you first, and then we'll get into the particular line that is so interesting in our time, and is also our work as light workers, that we know there's a unity of all life, that everything's interrelated and interconnected, and that what I am in it is sending out a vibration that is either supporting, helping, or getting in my own way and hurting me, as well as it does not help raise the vibration all around us. Here, so the poem is entitled, Peace Be Unto Thee, Stranger. Peace be unto thee, stranger. Enter and be not afraid. I have left the gate open, and thou art welcome to my home. There is room in my house for all. I have swept the hearth and lighted the fire. The room is warm and cheerful, and you will find comfort and rest within. The table is laid, and the fruits of life are spread before thee. The wine is here also. It sparkles in the light. I have set a chair for you where the sunbeams dance through the shade. Sit and rest and refresh your soul. Eat of the fruit and drink the wine. All is yours, and you are welcome. So here's the big line here that I love. And the big line is this: there is room in my house for all. Last night was a full moon, and I was gazing at the full moon last night as I was asking my I am presence, my high self, how is it that I can share today in a way that will bring forth more light, more love, and a greater sense of livingness? How is it that we can share something together today that will help us? And while gazing at the moon, I am one of those people who is aware that in certain cultures around the world, they gaze at the moon and they see the craters and the makeup of the craters, and what they see is the rabbit pounding rice. It's a rabbit with a reed, and he's got the reed over his shoulder, and he's pounding rice. He or she is pounding rice. And some people here in the West, we see the man in the moon. Now, if you've never seen the rabbit pounding rice, if you've never had that, been able to make that shape out, then you think the people who are seeing the rabbit pounding rice don't really see anything. There is no rabbit pounding rice. And from the other point of view, they're looking at the rabbit pounding rice and they don't see this thing you call the man in the moon. This face, they don't see it. Now, who's right there? Is it a rabbit pounding rice or is it the man in the moon? And the answer is, depends on how you're seeing it. Now, if we look at this, this works across the spectrum because this is the reality of what appears to be polarity, which is really not polarity. It's the field of all possibilities living in balance. And it is if you take away, what we call the positive, if we take away the negative, then we have no freedom because you would be forced to be just that. If it's in the presence of the opportunity to choose, it's your freedom, yes? That's why the ancient symbol of the yin and the yang, the left and the right, the male and the female. And it's not a static symbol, it's constantly moving and changing. So we got the rabbit pounding rice, we got the man in the moon, we got the left brain. Now what we know is the left brain is linear and logical, and it is going through a process to arrive at a decision or at a conclusion. And we have the right brain, which is aesthetic and moving all over the place, jumping in, grabbing images. It's the artistic side of us that is softer than that linear left brain idea. Now, some people are more left brain and some people are more right brain. And we would ask the question, who is correct? Let me know where you are. We're glad to see you here this morning. So many places from all over the world. What a thrill. The light workers are coming together. We're beginning to figure it out. So you got the left brain, you got the right brain. And now, here in this country, and I believe around the world, there's a discussion about male and female and how binary that is. And it was Carl Jung, the great psychologist and philosopher, who says that everybody's some variation of male and female. There's no 100% on either side because we all start out the same way with one chromosome and it switches around depending on how we're going to incarnate. And the fields in between. So who's right? The male or the female? Or the one who's transgender or the one who's not? Or the one who prefers this way or the one who prefers that way? Who is right? Again, what we see is this ego, the separating self, wants to make somebody right. And here's the line in the poem that I love. There is room in my house for all. Now, if we're light workers and we're trying to bring an awareness into the world, we're trying to be an instrument, an avenue of unconditional love, love given freely, without demands, without expectations, without seeking anything in between. If that's what's happening with us and for us and through us, then it doesn't really matter what the variations are. It doesn't matter whether you see the rabbit pounding rice or the man in the moon, or you see both. What matters is that you know that everything belongs, and that whatever perception you have, there's room. And when we say room in my house, we're not talking about the divine's house, because the source, the substance, is the source of all. So it couldn't have created all of this diversity if everything wasn't welcome in the house. So it really becomes up to you and me. How are you and I going to be the avenue through which we create a welcoming for all? There is room in my house of consciousness, for everybody. There is room in my house for all. And this is what is really true. We are, each of us, destined to come into the full awareness of who and what we are. Every day we're given that opportunity to discover the glory of my own spiritual magnificence, which is the glory of the spiritual magnificence in you, which is also the glory of the spiritual magnificence in everyone. And the only way you can see it is if you make room in your house for all. Is it better to be liberal or conservative? Is it better to be male or female? Is it better to be somewhere in the middle or not somebody in the middle? Is it better to be left-brained or right-brained? Is it better to believe in the direct revelation of Spirit through yourself, or is it better to believe in logic and sequence? Because they will all lead to the same place. Everything that rises must converge, right? So here is the question for us, is if we are about the business of being, what we call the isness business, then our personal responsibility is to discover what is coming from me, and the way that we know what is coming from me is how is it turning out in my life. Are the vibrations that I'm putting out, are my intentions vibrating clearly enough that you know that what I am seeking is to comfortably live my life and fulfill my purpose. And what I am seeking for all people is their direct understanding of their right to comfortably live their life and fulfill their purpose. But in order to do that, you have to purpose yourself to it. And you have to be conscious of what it is you are seeking to do. I'm seeking to be a place in the universe where God meets God, where Christ meets Christ, where Buddha meets the Buddha, where the Atman meets the Atman, where the Neshama is the Neshama in me, is the Neshama in you, and we honor each other and love each other. The soul in me is the soul in you, and we honor each other and love each other because that which is perfect intelligence has already ordained that it is so. We are not creating what is so. We are making room in our consciousness to see it. There is room in my house for all. You can go in every direction. I may not agree with you way out here or way out there, but you are welcome to that perception. There is a spiritual rule here. The spiritual rule: good morning from Palm Desert. Good morning from Edward Brown, from wherever you are. I don't see where you're from, but nice to see you here this morning. So fun that we have our friends who are having dinner while some of us are just waking up to greet the day, and we all belong together and we all can love each other right even in this moment. Isn't it wonderful that there's an awareness waking up that seeks peace? Peace be unto you, stranger. I have set a place for you. You may sit and rest and refresh your soul and take all of it in. Enjoy all of life. But if you're going to come into a house where there's room for all, are you living in your consciousness, in your house of consciousness, where there is room for all? Where that position is not a condition of your love. You may have a different point of view than mine. You may look and behave differently than I. But it doesn't make me better or you better. It means that you are seeking you and I am seeking me, and we belong in the house together. The authentic I am that I am, I'm seeking to reveal every day, knowing that I'm born in the light, as the light, with the light, one with love, one with joy, one with truth, one with beauty. I am what the source is, and the source is what I am. And only as I become conscious of it, only as I lean into it, only as I open my heart into it, can I grow forward in love, in joy, in freedom, and in purpose. Why would we want to go forward? So that you can be the victor, that you can know that you are already the champion, that you are already the beloved of the Most High, that the spiritual magnificence of you has already been given, and you are simply peeling off the onion skin that is no longer serving you, to get deeper and deeper and deeper, closer to your heart center, where your head and your heart begin not to be separate, not to be dual, not to be right or wrong, but begin to work as one, in the one, as the one, with the one. Just like the intelligence of source, the intelligence of energy, the intelligence of divine works wholly and completely with all of nature, never withholding anything, offering all the principles, all the laws, all the creative potential. to each and to all. It's universal. And what is missing is the human understanding of it. And the first thing we can do as awakening souls in the world is seek to be the instrument and avenue through which that peace which passes understanding is moving out into the world. Peace be unto thee, stranger, and be not afraid. Enter in and be not afraid. This decision that you and I make to commingle with the divine, and then to be an instrument of that commingling in the world, to bring it forward in our expression, to make room for all of the points of views, because no one's is better. What is true is how is that working for you? By law, is this point of view that you are holding, is it working for you? Is it causing you to have more love, more light, more truth, more joy, more wisdom, more peace, more providence, more grace, more understanding? Is it working for you? And if it isn't, you can change your mind and make room in your house for all. The truth of the matter is that the full moon can be perceived as a rabbit pounding rice, and it can be perceived as a man and the moon, and all of them are correct. Everyone can be correct, because the only law is it working for you? Is it bringing forth the qualities of the divine which begin with harmony and include a peace that is beyond comprehension but is everywhere present and available to all? We are moving toward a peace. We are moving toward a compassion. We are moving toward an awakening world. And your presence in it, your attitude and your consciousness in it, is vital to that transformation and vital to your own fulfillment. So we are seeking to be an instrument and avenue through which all are welcome, and through which all are honored at the substance and authenticity of who they are. The authentic self has already been ordained by God, and it's already being revealed. We are doing it consciously. Not everybody is, and we will support them by loving their high self and knowing that each one can hear the voice of that I Am presence, and that I Am presence is guiding all humanity and the earth toward a new beginning, toward a new awakening, toward a revelation of that which has always been potential in the human condition. My friends, I know this week you're making room in your house. You're an instrument of that light and that love, and who you are makes a difference in the world. We'll be back next week on Coffee with Casper. The only thing we ask you to do is share the video. If it does any good for you at all, share it on every network you have. If you're on LinkedIn, share it. If you're on Facebook, share it. If you're on YouTube, share it. Share the links, sign up, become a follower, do whatever you can to spread the message of an awakening world and the power that each of us has to be an instrument of that greater good daily. Until we meet again, I invite you to go in the light, as the light, and with the light. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. Where'd you go, Casper? Coming up one more time. Come up, say goodbye. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week on Coffee with Casper.